Today I'm going to talk to you about setting up your Android development environment. It can seem like a daunting task to try and figure out all the things you need to install, where you need to download them, and what you need to get set up to get started developing on Android. But I'm going to make it very easy for you by walking you through step by step, showing you each step how to get what you need and how to get developing. First, some basic assumptions before we begin. First, I'm assuming that you're using a Microsoft Windows environment. You can, of course, develop your Android applications using Mac OS or Linux, but for this demonstration, we're going to be using Microsoft Windows. I'm also assuming that we're developing in Eclipse. You can use a different IDE for development, but Android has provided a set of add-ins for Eclipse that make Android development using Eclipse much easier. Finally, you need to have the JDK installed. If you don't have this already, you can get this from oracle.com. One note here is to make sure that whatever JDK you install, be it the 32-bit or the 64-bit, that you get the same version of Eclipse. Later on, I'm going to recommend that you get the 32-bit version of Eclipse. So if you haven't installed the JDK already, you may want to just go ahead and get the 32-bit. So what are we going to talk about today? First of all, we're going to talk about Eclipse, where to get it, and how to install it. Next, we're going to move on to the Android SDK starter, and we're going to get that set up and installed. Then we're going to get the ADT for Eclipse, which is the application development toolkit that Google provides as a plugin for Eclipse. Then we're going to look at the platforms and components that the ADT will allow us to install in our Eclipse installation. And finally, we're going to create a Hello World application using Eclipse and a starter Android project just to make sure that everything that we installed and set up is working correctly.